talk too much. I've been living in the basement, trying to make a statement.
So this is the time where my mom almost finds my acid, right? So on this day, right, I decided I wanted to trip, right? And I've never done acid before, and I was really curious about it and I wanted to try it, right? So on this day, I decided I was going to pick it up. And this happened like summer of 2019, right? So this is where like my goon phase was. So this is where like most of these stories kind of like take place, is like the summer of 2019. So yeah, at the time, like I think I also had like an ounce, right? So this is like a very like important part of the story. So just remember, I had like a lot of weed on me. Well, not a lot, but like a decent amount, right? Like an ounce for me lasts me like a month, right? And that's normally like if I like don't share with people and shit. So on this day, right, I knew this kid, right? And he would trip a lot and shit, and he had acid, right? So he told me, well, we were like talking, and like I was like at work one day because he worked with me, and we were talking. I was like, yeah, bro, like I really want to try it, yada yada yada. You have a plug, and he said he has some, right? He said he had like these little like like those like watermelon Sour Patch Kids, like that's what he had, right? And normally like Ashy comes on like blotter paper, but this time like I've heard of like people like having like gummies and like them like dropping like the shit on it. So yeah, it was like I think I had like the day off when I decided I wanted to buy some, right? And I bought a gummy, right? And it was pretty cheap, bro, like $10, right? Like pretty average for like a tab. And I wait for him to like come and pull up to my house. And I'd say like he came pretty quick, bro. Like he like came like I'd say within like 15 minutes of like me hitting him up. And he pulls up, right? And I grab it. And I put it in some tin foil, right? Like so it like preserves it. And people always say like put it in tin foil so like the heat doesn't get to it and like the acid doesn't like get off like the tab or whatever you have, right? Because acid is like very like heat sensitive. So that's where like I kind of fucked up, right? Well, not fucked up, but like I put it in like this tinfoil and then like I had like this little like container and I put it in this container and like I hide it, right? But I decided I needed a trip sitter, right? And like a place to crash for the night when I decided to do it, right? So I hit up my friend and he says, "Oh yeah, like I'm down to sit you, yada yada yada," right? So we plan on like a Friday, like, and I think this was on like I don't know, it was like sometime during the week, like early in the week. So yeah, I have my plans on like when I'm gonna do it, right? So I'm kind of just sitting on this shit, right? And I'd say like a few days pass, and normally like I'm pretty smart when it comes to like hiding the smell of like my weed and shit. But on this day, I guess my mom had like the smell of like a fucking horse. And I don't know. I was like fucking around, like, I don't know. I was doing something. I think I just picked up like a zip and I was like putting it like in like my bag, right? Like in this little like container that I had that was like smell proof and shit, right? And my mom barges into my room, right? And she's tweaking, bro. Like, she's straight flipping out, like, wow, I can smell that through the house, yada yada yada. What the fuck are you doing? And I'm wide eyed, bro. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I have like acid in my room, right? And she's starting to like tear up my shit. And I'm tweaking, bro. Like, my room is just getting like I'm just getting fucking raided by my mom, bro. Like, kind of disrespectful, right? Like, she's just like tearing up my shit. And I had it like in this little like bin, right? Like, that was like full of shit. So I like finesse. Like, I just like sneakily like get to like the bin, open it, and like grab the tab. And I just fucking leave, bro. Cause like I had this hiding spot that was like clutch, right? So I wasn't really like tripping over like her finding it, right? Cause it like I tore like I had like these little speakers in my room at the time, right? And I never really used them and shit, but I had these speakers and I like tore out the inside of it where all like the electrical shit was, and I like put all my shit in it, like all my weed and like all my stuff. And I leave the house, right? I'm not trying to deal with this shit, so I have like this little like spot by my house where like there's this little like pond, and I go there, right? And I hide my shit, right? Because I'm not trying to have like a tab on me if she runs my pockets. So I hide it there and I leave it there, right? So I'm kind of walking around just like thinking like what the fuck do I do like with this situation, right? And I finally make my way back home. So yeah, like I come home and all my shit's just like on the floor, bro, just like all over the place, like everything that I own is just like on the floor, like on my bed, and I'm blown, right? Like I'm blown, and I'm just thinking like, what the fuck? Like this is fucked. So yeah, I'm just like pissed, right? So I start putting all my shit back, and a little time goes by, right? And I'm thinking like I have to scheme of a way to get this tab back in my room, right? So I come up with a bright idea that I need to just take my dogs on a walk, like, and then I go pick the shit up, right? So that's what I do. I take my dog out and I go to pick the tab up, right? Well, not tab, but like this gummy. And I'm walking my dog, right? And I'm just like still like really like blown, like what the fuck? Like why like am I so like why am I so fucked? Like what happened? And I'm just like thinking like in the back of my head like where I fucked up, right? But like nowadays, bro, like my mom's really chill like about like weed and shit, right? It's like she doesn't really like care that much. And I make my way back home and I put it back, right? And my mom's like pissed at me, right? So this day was kind of shit, right? And I'll probably tell like the next story. I'll probably post it like today or tomorrow about like when I took it and shit, cause it was kind of fucked, right? Like it was really fucked, like what happened and shit. But I hope you liked the video, and I'm gonna try to post more. Like I'm sorry that I haven't been posting that much, but I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.